Have you ever wondered why Ronnie Chan believes that China is not the Philippines' enemy? Intriguing, isn't it? To understand this, we must first consider who Ronnie Chan is. A prominent businessman with a unique perspective on geopolitics. Chan's statements have sparked widespread debate. But why would Chan make such a claim? And could there be more to this narrative than meets the eye? Keep watching until the end for a deep dive into this fascinating perspective. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Before we get into the heart of the matter, who exactly is Ronnie Chan? Born in Hong Kong, Ronnie Chan is an influential figure who has built an impressive reputation across the globe. He's a real estate tycoon, philanthropist, and more notably, the chairman of Hang Lung Group, a leading Hong Kong real estate development firm. With his business acumen, he has led the company to new heights, expanding its reach into mainland China. Yet, Chan's influence extends beyond his corporate pursuits. He's known for his active engagement in public service and education. He serves on the governing or advisory bodies of several think tanks and universities, including his alma mater, the University of Southern California. When it comes to China and the Philippines, Ronnie Chan holds a unique position. He's not a politician nor a diplomat, but his voice carries weight. As a Hong Kong-born businessman with deep ties to China and significant interests in the Southeast Asia region, his perspective on the relationship between these two nations is worth considering. His belief that China is not the Philippines' enemy, but rather that Western nations are using the Philippines as a pawn, has sparked controversy and debate. It's a provocative assertion, challenging conventional narratives and prompting us to examine the dynamics at play in the Asia-Pacific region. Now that you know who Ronnie Chan is, let's delve deeper into his controversial belief. So, what's this controversial belief that we've been talking about? Well, grab your thinking caps, folks, because we're about to dive deep into the mind of Ronnie Chan. You see, Mr. Chan holds a rather contentious conviction, a belief that China is not, in fact, the enemy of the Philippines. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can that be? Well, let's break it down. In the grand chessboard of global politics, countries are often pawns, moved around by larger, more powerful nations to achieve their own goals. As per Ronnie Chan, the Philippines is no different. He argues that Western nations, with their diplomatic prowess and economic might, are using the Philippines as a pawn in their games of power and influence. But wait, you might say, isn't China a significant global player too? Indeed it is. However, according to Chan, China's intentions towards the Philippines are not hostile. Instead, he sees the Asian giant as a potential partner for the island nation, a partner that could help them stand on their own, rather than being used as a pawn. Now, this doesn't mean that Chan is advocating for the Philippines to turn a blind eye to China's actions. No, far from it. He's urging the nation to see the bigger picture, to understand the complex dynamics at play, and make informed decisions based on their own interests. This belief, as you can imagine, has stirred quite a bit of controversy. It challenges the mainstream narrative and forces us to question our own preconceived notions. It's a belief that doesn't just ask us to reevaluate our understanding of international relations, but also to reassess the roles of Western nations in the affairs of smaller countries. But why does he believe this? Let's find out. After all, beliefs don't just appear out of thin air. They come from experiences, observations, and a deep understanding of the world. So, Let's delve deeper into the reasons behind Ronnie Chan's controversial belief. Stay tuned, and as we unfold this intriguing narrative, remember to keep questioning, keep wondering, and above all, keep an open mind. The reasons behind Ronnie Chan's belief are complex and multifaceted. Ronnie Chan's perspective is not born out of thin air. It's a product of an intricate web of global politics, history, and economics. Let's unravel this web, shall we? Imagine the world as a colossal chessboard. On one side, you have the Western nations, and on the other you have China. In the middle, you have nations like the Philippines, often caught in the crossfire of these global powers. Ronnie Chan views these middle nations, specifically the Philippines, as pawns in the grand game of global politics. Why, you might ask? Well, let's take a brief journey through history. For centuries, Western nations have been known to exert influence over less powerful countries, either through colonization or economic manipulation. This is where economics come into play. Western nations, with their established financial systems and vast resources, often use these smaller nations to further their own economic interests. Now, shift your gaze towards China. Despite its economic and military prowess, it has a different approach. China, according to Chan, is not interested in using the Philippines as a pawn, but rather seeks mutual growth and development. He cites China's investment in infrastructure projects within the Philippines as evidence of this. But let's not forget the role of global politics. Chan asserts that Western nations paint China as an enemy to justify their actions and maintain their global dominance. He believes that this narrative is not just misleading, but detrimental to the Philippines, as it prevents them from forming beneficial alliances with China. In essence, Ronnie Chan's belief stems from his understanding of the intricate dance of global politics, history, and economics. He sees a world where nations are not just pawns in a game, but active players with the potential to dictate their own destiny. But there's one question we haven't answered yet. Remember that unanswered question from the first chapter? It's time to answer it. We asked if the Western nations are indeed using the Philippines as a pawn, what would they gain? The answer is as complex as it is insightful. Consider this. Geographically, the Philippines is a strategic location in the Southeast Asia region. It is a gateway to the rest of Asia, and control over this gateway could potentially allow any nation to influence trade, politics, and even security in the region. Western nations, with their long history of colonialism and global dominance, understand this all too well. But there's more to it. On the chessboard of global politics, nations are not merely pawns, but players with their own strategies and goals. The Philippines, with its rich natural resources and dynamic economy, is a valuable ally or a formidable adversary. But what does this have to do with China being seen as a friend, not a foe, by Ronnie Chan? Here's where it gets interesting. Chan believes that China, as a fellow Asian nation, understands the unique challenges and opportunities faced by the Philippines. They share cultural ties, economic interests, and regional concerns that Western nations might overlook or exploit. In contrast, Western nations, according to Chan, have a history of treating Asian countries as pawns in their geopolitical games. Their interests are often driven by their own agendas, not necessarily the well-being of Asian nations. So, to sum it up, the Western nation's potential gain is twofold: strategic control over a crucial gateway to Asia, and influence over a valuable ally or adversary. This, Chan argues, is why the Philippines should see China as a friend, not a foe. Of course, this perspective is not without its critics, but it certainly provides food for thought, doesn't it? Whether you agree with Chan or not, his belief challenges us to reconsider our own assumptions about global politics. And there you have it, a deep dive into the intriguing perspective of Ronnie Chan. As we wrap up this discussion, it's clear that Ronnie Chan's perspective opens up a whole new way of looking at global politics. His belief that China is not the enemy of the Philippines, but rather the Western nations are using them as mere pawns for their own benefits, is indeed thought-provoking. This perspective compels us to question the mainstream narratives and to look beyond the surface. It's not about taking sides or blindly accepting one viewpoint over another. It's about understanding the complexities that underlie international relations, the intricate web of power, and the delicate balance that sustains it. Remember, we started this journey by asking, who is Ronnie Chan? We discovered a man with a deep understanding of East-West relations, a man who is not afraid to voice his controversial beliefs. We delved into his reasons, his observations, and his experiences that led him to such conclusions. And through this exploration, we learned that every story has many sides, and every perspective carries its own weight. But the biggest takeaway from this discussion is the importance of staying curious and questioning the status quo. The world is not just black and white, good and bad, friend and foe. It's a spectrum, a kaleidoscope of colors, constantly changing, constantly evolving. And so should our understanding of it. So what about that unanswered question we left hanging in the air? Is the Western world really using the Philippines as a pawn in their geopolitical games? Well, the answer isn't straightforward. It depends on who you ask and from which perspective you're looking. But one thing is certain. The more we question, the more we learn. If you enjoyed this content and want to keep wondering, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us continue to create content that makes you think, question, and explore the world from different angles. Until next time, keep questioning and exploring. Don't miss out on future explorations and discoveries. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with our new content. Your journey of wonder continues with every video. Stay connected and engaged on social media. Continue the conversation, follow us. Thank you for being a part of the Have You Ever Wondered community. Keep wondering, keep discovering. Until next time.